Hurricane Delta is now moving inland through Louisiana and the Mississippi. It will bring damaging winds, flooding rain, and isolated tornadoes throughout both of these states. It will also pass through areas and cause some damage to areas that were previously ravaged by Hurricane Laura in August 2020. Hurricane Delta made landfall near Creole in Louisiana, which is a town that is located 14 miles east of Cameron. It made landfall as a Category 2 hurricane with winds of 100 miles per hour on Friday evening. Cameron is the location where Hurricane Laura made landfall just 40 days ago. Delta's landfall was the record 10th landfall hurricane or tropical storm in the U.S. this 2020 Atlantic hurricane season. This means that Hurricane Delta has broken the previous record of 9 such hurricane landfalls in one season, and this record has existed from 1916. Whilst Hurricane Delta continues to weaken and is now moving through the lower Mississippi Valley and causing rainfall from parts of Louisiana to areas in Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia. Flash flood emergencies were issued on Friday, close to where Hurricane Delta's eye wall created torrential rainfall. In Lake Charles, Louisiana, there was approximately 12 inches of rain, and in Iowa, in Louisiana, there was approximately 17 inches of rainfall. Water levels continue to spill over the shoreline of the Gulf of Mexico. The water levels at the freshwater canal locks rose to at least 8.3 feet prior to the gorge stopping, which has broken the record for the location dating back to Hurricane Ike in 2008. Gusts of approximately 101 miles per hour were produced by Hurricane Delta near to the Texas and Louisiana border at Texas Point last Friday evening. Wind gusts of over 75 miles per hour were reported across most of the southwestern areas of Louisiana and to the extreme southeastern areas of Texas. Maximum sustained winds are now on the decrease as Hurricane Delta moves inland, but damaging wind gusts are still likely as the day progresses. Tropical storm conditions will be possible throughout most of Louisiana and the western regions of Texas and the Mississippi into early Saturday. Delta continues to move inland over the lower Mississippi Valley. It will weaken quickly. By early next week, the forecasters have stated that the remnants of Hurricane Delta will move into the Tennessee Valley and the central Appalachians as a rainmaker. Expect flooding rainfall and storm surges. A faster forward speed than what was seen with Hurricane Sally in August 2020 will lessen Delta's extreme rainfall potential to some degree, although heavy rainfall is still expected from this system. Winds will gradually decrease along the Gulf Coast and across Louisiana overnight, while it will increase in Arkansas, Tennessee, and the northern regions of Mississippi towards early morning of Sunday. We need to expect to see isolated tornadoes across some of these states, and also expect strong winds that will be able to knock down trees and cause electrical outages across many states as well. Delta continues to extend inland, and it will gain some forward speed after making landfall into much of Louisiana, the extreme eastern regions of Texas, Mississippi, and the southern areas of Arkansas well into Saturday. The impact of Hurricane Delta is currently being felt across many states in the United States of America. It has caused roads to be flooded, it has damaged buildings, and it has caused more than 400,000 persons to be without electrical power. Currently, as it stands, more than 400,000 homes and businesses are without electricity. The Capital One Tower in Lake Charles had gaping holes instead of windows as Hurricane Delta damaged this building. Storm surges have flooded many coastal areas. Hundreds of thousands of persons are without electricity after Hurricane Delta made landfall in the southwest regions of Louisiana on Friday. Hurricane Delta knocked down trees and power lines. Hurricane Delta also inundated many coastal areas with water and caused damages to some buildings. Streets were flooded in Lake Charles, and buildings which were previously damaged by Hurricane Laura 6 weeks ago were battered by Hurricane Delta's winds and rains. Prior to the storm, boards covered sections of the exterior of the 22-story Capital One Tower, downtown Louisiana. But Hurricane Delta still managed to cause some damage to this already damaged building. Later on Friday, the tower was once again pummeled by the rains and winds from Hurricane Delta. Across the city, tarps were draped on damaged roofs following Hurricane Laura, which took off these roofs with its powerful winds. Of course, Delta also removed all of these tarps that were placed on these already damaged roofs in Louisiana. Approximately 301,000 persons are without electricity in Louisiana, whilst 113,000 persons are without electricity in the state of Texas. Approximately more than 5 million persons are under flash flood warnings across the lower Mississippi River Valley after Hurricane Delta made landfall as a Category 2 hurricane, and it has continued to drench the southeast regions of Louisiana. Delta, which is now a tropical storm, dropped over a foot of rain in Louisiana, and its powerful winds pounded communities across 2 states. It should also be noted that Hurricane Delta has knocked down trees and power lines, which has resulted in 761,000 homes and businesses along the Gulf Coast being without electrical power. Flash flood emergencies were also issued following the heavy rainfall. Delta has left a trail of hazards like flooded roads, downed power lines, and it has displaced wildlife across the state of Louisiana. In Calcasieu Parish, on the southwestern border of the state, downed power lines, trees, flooding, and debris has left several roads impassable. It should also be noted that multiple wrecks have forced the closure of the I-10 bridge in both directions. Vehicles have been abandoned, and boats have blocked some residential streets in the parish. Rainfall continues in the southern Mississippi River Valley and the Tennessee Valley as well. Flooding remains the main concern through Saturday. Parts of the southeast could see rainfall amounts of more than 8 inches before the weekend is concluded. Tornadoes are also possible on Saturday over parts of southern Louisiana and Mississippi, and also over Alabama, Tennessee, and the western Florida Panhandle. Should also expect tornadoes to pass through. With sustained winds of approximately 40 miles per hour, the storm was moving to the north-northeast at 16 miles per hour on Saturday. Its center was located at 45 miles east of Monroe in Louisiana. Delta was expected to weaken into a tropical depression as it moves into the Tennessee River Valley later on Saturday. Hurricanes Delta and Laura have forever changed the lives of persons living in Louisiana, Texas, and along the coastline of the Gulf Coast. Thanks for watching. Be safe.